This is the ETV Coaches Show. Mark T. Robinson here with the head track and field coach, Natalie Bach-Prather. Coach, you guys have had kind of a sporadic type of schedule. You ran in the indoor meet at Texas A&M in College Station, and then last week it was just a singular meet with only Mac Broussard. So kind of a odd start to the season, but nevertheless, you guys are still getting in the necessary repetitions that you need to start the season. So first, we're going to start with College Station, talk about some of the things that you saw from your team as a whole there, even though it was the only indoor meet for you guys heading into this outdoor season. What did you see as a coach from your team?
Well, at this indoor meet, we had several freshmen running, and so it was just kind of a good way to see where they're at fitness-wise. But we're also trying to incorporate more indoor meets in our schedules going further. And so I just kind of want them to see what it's like, what it's going to feel like if we start competing early, to give them an idea of what they need to work towards, during that off season in the fall, so that we can be ready for more indoor meets. And it's a cool experience for them. There's a lot of big time athletes there, a lot of really fast competition. So, several were a little bit starstruck, I think. But it was still a really good experience for them, and just kind of, we've trained for a long time, and so just to finally get them into a competition so that they can feel that excitement and remember why we're doing this, it was I think just the right time to get them excited for our outdoor season coming up on March 1st. So overall, I was pleased. We're testing out new people in our relay teams, and we were a little bit faster than our winning time from conference last year. So that's a good sign of fitness. Hopefully we can improve. We will improve upon that, but it was nice to see where we're at this moment, and we haven't started outdoor yet. So that was the biggest goal, and I think that worked.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, just looking at the schedule, also, you had Mac Broussard running in a Hardin-Simmons meet this past weekend. He came in first.
He did.
Is that a surprise or not a surprise? I'm not sure if that's actually a surprise or not. So the surprising part, I guess, is very first outdoor meet of the season. He comes in first, but not surprising in that, that's just how Mac, handles running and
handles the situation.
How he handles his business. So what did you see as a coach from there?
Not a surprise. I definitely am expecting that. We're looking for him to do some really big things in the 10K this year. Right. We're hoping we can get that time down so we can compete at the national level. So this first meet was just let's see where you're at fitness-wise once again. But, thankfully there was a fairly large number of people that raced with him. So he's not just, it's different than doing a time trial on your own by yourself on the track. Yes. So we wanted to kind of see where he was at. Now, unfortunately, I think there were 30-mile-per-hour winds blowing at the time, and that didn't give us the time we were looking for, but he still had the effort and still knows this is what a 10K feels like. Yes. A lot of times around a track. Yes. But it gives him, we're just preparing. We're preparing because unfortunately, there's only a handful of 10Ks throughout the season in the meets that we're going to. It's not a race that's run at every single meet. And so he needed to get one more under his belt before we really start going for those times that we're looking for. So it was great. Great experience. He got the workout. He was sore afterwards. Yes. It's a mental game. The 10K happens to sometimes be more of a game mentally than it even is competing, because everyone's kind of waiting for someone else to take the lead. But he did a really great job and is just great at strategy when it comes to the 10K. So performed it and executed it very well.
Absolutely. And just one of the things that I kind of wanted to ask you about is when you're in a meet like that where you can only focus on one athlete, how helpful is that, one as a coach and one as an athlete? Because I know normally in track meets you're running around 20, 25 different events. So to be able to focus on one athlete, how important is that for the progress of your athlete running and for you as a coach as a whole?
Well, it's always refreshing when you can have a little bit of one-on-one time with your athlete. And so that's always nice. The distance runners kind of get a little bit lucky because a lot of the times those distance runs or races are held the night before or way early in the morning before any of the other team gets on onto the track. So they kind of always have a little bit more attention, I would say, than when we have the sprinters and the jumpers and the throwers all going at the same time. But it's always good to be able to focus, especially with him. You know, we have a couple of athletes that were really, like I said earlier, looking for some big things. So to be able to kind of give them a little bit more attention is really good, and hopefully will help with it long term.
Absolutely, and you guys are opening up the outdoor season this Friday against UT Tyler. We're hoping that it doesn't rain. We know there's a lot of rain coming in the forecast. Hopefully you guys, I hope some of your athletes know a couple of good, is there such a thing as a non-rain dance? I don't know.
We need to do it.
Yes, I know there's a rain dance. I don't know if there's, the opposite of that. But hopefully you guys have some good weather. But opening up the outdoor season finally. So what can you talk to me about that type of process as an athlete? You're waiting all this time to finally run. What is kind of the perspective of your team? How do they feel, especially the freshmen, with finally being able to open up this weekend?
They're excited. I mean, they're excited. The coaches are excited. We're ready. We've been training a long time for this outdoor season, and we're going into our 6th year with the track program. But I can definitely say this is our fullest roster, our most talented roster. And we're already seeing some amazing things happening during practice. So I think it's going to be a really exciting year. So to be able to finally get out there and finally start getting those times, I think it's going to be fun all the way around. Hoping for some beautiful weather, because we could see some pretty cool things happening that we can kind of build upon. But, even if it rains, it's good. We need to know how to perform even in the rain. But we're excited. We're going to put a different relay team together. We're doing a lot of experimenting with our relay team to try to nail it down, and we've gotten a lot of really good work with our jumpers, so I'm excited to kind of see what happens there, and same with our throwers. I mean, I think we've gotten more quality work done early on than we ever have in the past. Wow. So that's improvement, so we can't help but hopefully have a better season than last. So
that is good to know, Coach, and thank you once again for being on the ETBU Coaches Show. I will actually be out there with you guys this weekend.
Awesome.
So you're going to get some good coverage and get to see some of the freshmen and some of the other prospective athletes for you at work. So
fantastic.
Yes, ma'am. And you guys can keep up to date with all things ETBU sports at goetbutigers.com or follow us on social media at goetbutigers. Once again, Mark T. Robinson, head coach, Natalie Bach-Prather. We'll see you guys again next time.